The Forum for African Women Educationalists, FAWE, in partnership with the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, set up the Women in Political Participation WPP project. WPP's aim is to increase the participation of women in Africa's political spaces in line with the Maputo Protocol. WPP is being implemented in 8 African countries, namely Botswana, Democratic Republic of Congo, Eswatini, Cote d'Ivoire, Kenya, Senegal, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe. In Kenya, the project ran in stages known as academies, with participants from across different social and regional backgrounds. 4 successful academies were held virtually in 2021.
The mission of FAWE is to ensure that there's gender equity and equality in education. And how it links with the WPP program, which is the Women in Political Participation, is one of the core mandate of FAWE is to ensure that women do participate in leadership positions. As they participate in leadership positions, they are able to ensure that the gender agenda is part of the development agenda. And that's how the program of Women in Political Participation came on board. It's just to strengthen the participation of women, not only in leadership in different arenas, but also leadership in the political space.
Each academy targets a minimum of 35 participants drawn from various backgrounds.
Gedia Mamo is a daughter of the North. I am from Marsabit County. Born and raised in Moyale sub-county, a very small village called Dabel, from a super minority community called Sakwe.
I'm Sophie Chebon from the beautiful slopes of Mount Elgon in Bungoma County. I come from Sabot community, which is one of the marginalized communities in Kenya, bordering Kenya and Uganda. I'm a graduate of Bachelor's in Environmental Studies in Planning and Management, currently working as an environmental specialist intern in Kakamega Municipality.
Apondi is someone who is politically conscious, someone who is a mom, who understands what the society is like. So as a whole, I am a person who has been advocating for women and girls even before I became politically conscious and wanted to follow that path.
Ambassador Wendy Mutegi is a lady who is passionate for the community and the less privileged in the society. I'm an ambassador for future generations. I also look into the prison systems, indigenous societies, and now the political space that touches on women.
FAWE, in partnership with Oxfam, signed a Memorandum of Understanding to host the 3rd and 4th WPP virtual academies in Kenya, a timely effort with the country heading to a general election in August 2022.
We got in touch with Oxfam because we had held 2 sessions online to build capacities for over 33 young people per session. And how Oxfam comes in is we're looking for partners that could help FAWE reach more women than what we had reached with the first 2 sessions that were funded by IDEA. And that's how Oxfam comes on board and provided the support, the financial support, to be able to mobilize the women, to be able to have them connected, because the sessions were taking place online, and we wanted to ensure that all of them are connected, they have access to internet, and then they're able to go through the sessions. And we had to bring on board the role models, the women that have gone through politics, to be able to share their experiences.
So it was exciting to partner with FAWE and see many young women and girls show up to build their capacity, to see how they can be mentored and be coached, to listen to women who've gone before them who are in parliament and leadership, and to see how they can also just chart their own way into leadership. I think women can play a critical role in bringing ideas back into the political conversation, and that way then you can beat the men at their own game because you're shifting the conversation that we are having politically speaking.
The partnership was very strategic for Oxfam because it gave us an opportunity to pool resources with FAWE and reach out to young women that are aspiring to get into political leadership, women who would otherwise not be supported because they are considered young and inexperienced. It also gave us an opportunity to support women from marginalized counties that have deeply entrenched social, cultural, and religious beliefs, which is a huge barrier to voting women in political leadership. And lastly, just the opportunity to impact them with skills, knowledge, and tools that they are using currently as we gear up for elections, to navigate the political world. The mentorship that they got during those sessions from seasoned female political leaders is valuable because it helps them understand what they're getting themselves into and how they're able to cope, with whatever challenges they face along the journey.
When it comes to women's participation in politics, one of the main challenges is that they're not connected. One of the aims of WPP is to help them unlock these networks.
The WPP project is actually innovation in the sense that the idea of putting together mentors which are well-experienced women politicians and mentees which are like young women entering politics. So moving forward, we need to make sure that the network that we created through this project can serve as a platform to make recommendations for active participations of women in politics.
The WPP coursework imparts them with knowledge and skills in engaging in leadership at all levels of decision-making in political and public life, developing networks of women in leadership across counties in Kenya, managing work-life balance, and the importance of self-care for women in politics, identifying challenges faced by women in leadership and turning these challenges into opportunities, engaging private and public media in goal setting, campaign strategy, and branding, describing the budget process, gender-responsive budgeting, and the role of women oversight at various levels of governance. Exhibit the importance of gender mainstreaming in development and political leadership and the provisions for the same in the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Demonstrating the roles and responsibilities of different arms and levels of governments in enhancing accountability to the public in their oversight roles. The WPP program is developed to cover various aspects of politics. Some participants highlighted their experience in the 3rd and 4th Women in Political Participation Academies.
My goodness, that is one of the best things that has happened to me in the late 2021. As women, we want to vie generally and to participate in politics, but we don't know how to do it and how to do it well. You will see that many women will come in and they will flop. They will not proceed to get elected. So the WPP Academy has been a blessing. Not a blessing in disguise, a blessing. And it was a blessing because I got to meet so many people, from the persons who are taking us through the various courses. I got to understand how to start my political journey properly with zeal and how to carry myself in the political space. It was wide. The discussion was wide and varied. We talked about, how to make decisions, who to have behind you as your team, as your campaign team, who to look up to, how to find a mentor, how to dress, how to, from the broad subjects to the small nitty-gritties, how to be on social media, how to market yourself, and how to just communicate. And I think that those topics helped me build myself in the political space, but even personally as well, because these are things that I now went on to use in my day-to-day lives, and they make me a better person. I'll have to say that one of the things that stuck with me is the Eisenhower matrix, which you do. You look at what you need to do, you put them down, you decide, you either delegate or you just delete. And that has helped me a lot.
So through this, I was opened up my mind that leadership in women has its own challenges, whereby when you're planning during the budgetary processes, the needs of women are not the same with the needs of men. So this comes in handy with gender responsive budgeting, whereby women have different needs, different priorities, and they have different experiences. I have some key issues that were so dear to me, and that every time I think about the Women Political Participation Academy 3 and 4, I always remember or think of them. One of them is the men engage. As women, we need to know how to engage men, especially in the political field. For you to succeed as a leader, know how to handle yourself, know how to respond to some of the issues, because most of the time we are bullied or we are harassed because of our gender. Another thing that was very key was the intergenerational mentorship, or passing the baton. That it's very important for women who have come before us. It's very important for them to hold hands of these young girls and mentor them.
I would say the academy was an energizer. By the time we were getting into the virtual training, I was am I crazy? I just woke up and said I'm running for office. No, that's crazy. Then I follow on the virtual meetings, trainings, and then someone always says, go for it, get into it, do it, fail, learn, and wake up, come stronger. It was more like energized, I would say. It was empowering. So I got to know about just showing up. Don't think too much about it. Show up, learn. And then the best bit was, it's not only women that will run and fail. We have had men who run and don't make it. They run 10 of them, only one make. We don't talk about the 9. But if out of the 10 was one woman, and the woman was among the 9 that didn't make it, we'll, for the rest of our lives, talk about the one woman that didn't make it. So someone said in the training that it's just a way of leaving us down there. So I'm here. I've learned from the academy on how to brand myself, on how it's important, my image to be out there earlier, and again, communication. There's so much on communication and how I should address different people, how I should be careful of the cultures, of the religions that I may be interacting with. Again, budgeting. And I remember one of the facilitators said, do not worry so much about the monies that you don't have. Do the budget, get out, pursue the dream, and someone will actually come and finance, because no one knows what you have in you until you've said it. So yeah, it really, I was like, okay, so let me not focus so much about the money, because if we're getting into this space as young as we are, we don't have the savings. We haven't saved for this. It really empowered me to go. After the academy is when I decided I am going to be on the ballot.
I think for me the academy was quite timely in that in as much as we talk about women and the affirmative action and the feminist movements and women being in public spaces, I think at the grassroots level it is still at a very low percentage. And for me, the involvement in the program, Women in Political Participation, is really a key program. And I learned a lot from the program. The academy was very informative, particularly for us who are first-timers in the political space. We could have gotten involved in grassroots engagements and work, but in elective process, we've not been participants in the elective process. And like one doctor said in the academy, it's really a man's world, and the political space is set in such a way that it automatically discriminates against women. So even from the time you say that you're engaging yourself, you feel the presence of the men and the exclusion of the women. It's just so loud. that this program under FAWE is really a key program. And a lot of things I learned is that we must really push to be felt in the political space. We must put on extra muscles, And again, of course, we must be prepared for what comes out, because there's all the issues of electoral violence and gender-based violence, and particularly against the women, in terms of even what we wear, how we present ourselves, engagement with the men, being out. A lot of decisions are made in the night. The women are not able to be out in the night. So in terms of preparedness, the academy was very helpful and very impactful. I am more specifically and proactively more involved, knowing very well what I will encounter in the field. And that academy for me should be something that should be done quite often, not only for the women below 35, but also for the women below 60, who knows some women will target the big seat and they need to be prepared for a long time, So I think for me, the academy was very impactful.
The academy facilitators took the participants through various coursework and shared their thoughts on women taking up their role in political spaces.
One of the things that I learned is I put myself in the shoes of these ladies. Most of them were coming in, they're vying for the first time. And so it can be very terrifying, because for a woman, when they are vying, there are so many things that go into question. You're looking at first your image. If you're single, there's a problem. If you're married, they will look at your husband. They will look at your children. Where are you coming from? Where are you going? Okay, then there's the media part and the social media part, the traditional media, which we also call legacy media. For you to go on, for you to speak, whatever you're speaking is being critiqued twice at a double rate compared to the men. Okay, you hear the media ask questions like, so you're vying and you're a mother, how will you manage it? Have you ever heard anywhere where they say, Ati, you're a man, you're vying, how will you manage it? They don't, that doesn't come into play. So for these women, we were preparing them because it's going to come into play.
The image and the reputation, that's where protocol and etiquette came in. The society, when they elect somebody among themselves to represent them for 5 years, they are looking for somebody who is higher than them in terms of that's somebody who can inspire them. Yes, you are better than us, you can lead us, you can give us a vision, that's why we want to send you for those 5 years. So they are looking at that person whom they have an image in mind, whom they will judge at a higher standard than a normal public. Then in the 3 and 4, there is a matter that came in of international legal frameworks for women participation. This was amazing for me because challenging and kind of triggering that kind of passion from young people to know that there's an international framework. It's not only a Kenyan scenario. There's that legal basis where all people should have a fair chance of participating, and more so women.
Mentorship is a key aspect of the Women Political Participation Academies. Seasoned politician, gender and women's expert, Honorable Professor Jacqueline Odwol was one of the mentors who shared her knowledge and rich experience with participants.
I am a gender and women's expert, particularly political participation, and I see a very strong need to engage in mentorship and to ensure that that mentorship enables especially young girls to get to see that politics, whereas it is called a dirty game, really is not dirty at all. It is just that we have people who come in with dirty tricks, and some people who themselves, I'm sorry to say, are dirty in terms of their approach. Politics is about strategy, and that strategy is how you are going to get visibility. And you do not get visibility if you're not outstanding. And what makes you outstanding is not just that you want to get into politics, but the passion. And that passion has got to be linked with a clear issue that you are addressing. And this must be an issue that you have not just thought of, maybe because you are in the academy. It must be something that is a felt need in the society. If you can match your passion with the need of a particular group, and you can communicate a solution and also bring along with you key target groups of the constituents that you're dealing with, then I think you will find that gender, which will obviously be used to try and hold you back, will in fact be the platform that you will now use to demonstrate that you can indeed overcome challenges. Because when you get into leadership, then you need to know that people want you to be able to handle that.
I'm happy that we are seeing a lot more women coming up and being interested in leadership, especially political leadership.
With plans to host more academies across Africa, organizers and facilitators had this to say about the future of WPP.
We are looking at scaling up the program, replicating it in other FAWE chapters to make it a success. So partnership is always about strength building, improving each other's capacity, and I'm sure Oxfam has also gotten a lot from FAWE, and I look forward to better partnership.
Doing Academy, WPP Academy 3 and 4, is that we were very intentional to really reach out to the marginalized and the far-to-reach constituencies, because in the academy we had participants who have hearing impaired, visually impaired, persons with disability, and these are participants who in most times are not really reached out to and being brought on the front.
You know, the world has become a global village thanks to technology. We want to make sure that their stories do not die. We want to make sure that even in future, you know, a girl somewhere who's aspiring to become a leader can dig out information, find it, read, be inspired, and know that she's not the first one to walk that path.
I want to just ask that we see politics as a very critical aspect of determining not just the quality of our lives, but indeed to become responsible for being in a given community or a particular constituency or a country. And therefore I call on each and everyone that has a chance to support, especially female candidates, maybe young ones, maybe those with disability, truly to do what they can to ensure that they get into this. I want to say that politics is not dirty. It is the way we engage that is dirty. And I'm sorry that we have had a number of males who have themselves brought these dirty tactics. So let's get more women in and let's clean it up and let's serve our people.
So overall, the academies have been very, very instrumental in building the capacities of young people, preparing them for the journey, which may not be an easy journey. It's a journey for the tough, and I want to believe that those academies have really contributed to their aspirations for political leadership.
FAWE, together with its partners, want to increase the participation of women in politics and decision-making positions in the community, so as to increase gender parity. With these goals in mind, these are some of the plans it has set forth.
So we believe that, it's our responsibility as Oxfam, also with partners like FAWE, to try to really push for women to enjoy their right as Kenyan citizens, equal and free to participate in that ability to lead. Also, the other reason that I think is very well known, I think where women have led, there's been very good both social and economic impact. And COVID-19 is used as a very good example. You look at countries where women were leading, whether it's Germany with Angela Merkel there, or New Zealand with Jacinda Ardern there. You see that the response was much, much better compared to other countries where arrogant men were leading. I think if women led more, I think we'd see many of the challenges we face as a country probably go away, whether it's corruption, starvation, hunger, food insecurity, lack of investment in health and education sectors. I think some of those indicators will really improve if we get more and more women.
In terms of sustainability, of course, this was just a start. We've not done it for more than 2 years. It started sometime last year, and what has been done was just in Kenya. But like I mentioned, FAWE has presence in 33 countries across the continent, and it is our desire that we have this that was piloted in Kenya extended to the other countries where FAWE has presence. So what we are planning is to solicit for more partnerships, just like Oxfam came on board. We can have many more Oxfams coming on board to partner with FAWE so that we are able to have that wider reach to pass on the information and support the many women across the African continent. So the whole plan is to grow from the academies we've held in Kenya, but to scale them up to other countries.